And sometimes you can feel like, what have I accomplished? You've accomplished some things, but you're like looking at people around you and you're like, what have I even accomplished? What can I share? What can I say? Or why should I even say something, right? But you're missing the things that happen regularly that you're not paying attention to. I'd always have visions about celebrities and ministering to celebrities, or being this oddball in the middle of celebrities, right? And I'd be like, why am I always dreaming about these people? I don't care to be a celebrity. I don't necessarily want what they experience, because I can't even begin to imagine not even being able to just go to a store and just buy something. And I never understood the visions or the dreams I had, but I just always would wake up and pray. And I remember one time the Lord led me to pray for Kanye West, and I'm like, God, why? And then God began to show me things on why I needed to. But still, not understanding the circles or the people God putting me around. And a few weeks ago, I ran into one of the Married to the Doctors Atlanta show. I think Toya, that's her name. And we got to talking about hair, but I made sure I just let her be human. Let her just have a humble experience and not have a fan or someone annoying her. And I didn't take pictures, and my daughter was like, Mommy, she's famous. Why aren't you going to take pictures? And I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but Toya should be excited that she met me. Just as much as I'm excited I met her. I'm somebody, she's somebody. And still didn't put anything, still didn't think anything of it. She had the most amazing hair, and we got a chance to talk about girl stuff and kept it moving. Well, today I ran into beautiful, beautiful Selena Johnson. And she was on the phone and she was making moves and doing things that she's supposed to do as a woman. And so I just was like, you know what? Don't bother her. Don't bother her, because she needs to be able to shop. She wants to feel human. She wants to feel respected. And she doesn't want to be bombarded by people that are just thirsty for the come up, or just worshiping her or making it more than what it needs to be. So I just was like, okay. So once again, of course, my kids said, Mommy, is she famous? And I said, yeah, she's, told them a little bit about her resume and who she was. And I got into the grocery store. For some reason, I kept feeling compelled to just motivate her and inspire her, as her story with her father motivated me. You see, my father, he probably meant well, but he didn't know how to be a father. And he never stopped to ask me or to even pursue what it is to be a father. And so I held a lot of resentment inside because of that. So when he died, I struggled with feeling like, how do I reconcile between being angry with him? Every time he would pick me up from my mom, he would try to show off and impress my mom and make it seem like, yeah, got my daughter. And I know my dad loved me, my biological father. I know he loved me. But the moment he picked me up, I'd be with my mom, my grandma Nina, and my auntie Sheena, or my uncle Dan and my cousins. My dad would pick me up. He would feed me. He would try to have conversation, but he didn't know how to be a dad. He didn't know how to be present. And so watching Selena Johnson's testimony, and I never really watched Fix Your Life by Ayanla Vazan. Ayanla Vazan, I think that's right. I never really watched that show. I've probably watched it maybe 5 episodes out of the years. I have a couple of her books, but never really watched the shows. This particular time I watched the show, and Selena's story just really helped me to be honest about what I was harboring inside with my father. And then my pastor, Pastor DAlene, the Holy Spirit led her on how to lead us to forgive our father on one of the meetings we had. And so when I kept feeling compelled, I shared with her for her to keep sharing. And no matter what she's facing, her story is important and powerful, and it's helpful. And she just stopped in her tracks. And I told her, I said, normally I would not even bother or come up. I said, but I felt led to because of X, Y, and Z. And so God used me. Basically, I began to encourage her. And she stopped me and she said, you have no idea how much I needed that. I really needed that today. And it brought me back to the times when God would show me the visions and the dreams of me being that oddball, that peculiar person in the middle of all this stuff that was happening, all these famous people, all these celebrities, all this stuff. And it was so weird because when I got back home tonight for dinner, I ended up talking to someone who I told her she's stunning and she's gorgeous. And she said, you are. And I said, no, honey, that's just some makeup samples that I use on my face that I found. And we just started laughing. And I began to share with her about the unforgiveness in my heart towards my father. Well, come to find out, she too struggled with some things in her heart towards her dad. And it made me realize that we have to spend more time being present, meeting the needs of others, and letting God direct us to the path of profitability, His way, His will, and His purpose and plan. And I may not be able to say, oh, I have these letters behind my name, or I have these experiences or these accomplishments. Yeah, I can brag and paint a picture and do all that on social media. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm probably going to be the most unpopular person because profitability is not my aim. Effectiveness in touching a soul and restoring them to their rightful place of authority and royalty, that is my aim. And does that mean that I want to be homeless and that I want to be able to not pay my bills and be without? I couldn't be a good mom and a good person or have a desire to serve someone else's needs or start a community, which I've been able to do, thank God. I would not be able to do that without thinking about the need to be successful in the marketplace. But it cannot be the leg or the table that I rest on. It has to be a byproduct. If that means because it's not my focus and it's a byproduct that it takes me longer, because some people are so consumed and they are so successful in the eyes of man, but when they stand before God, woe to them, because they're going to realize that they've had success in the wrong direction and they've climbed great heights, leaning their ladder against the wrong wall. I'd rather be slower than as a tortoise than to be as fast going nowhere as the hare, and to find out that I was on perfect purpose and that profitability was in more ways than one that I could ever imagine, because God saw my obedience, my commitment, and my desire to heal and to be used. And my prayer for you is that you be obedient to God, and that you know that you have a purpose and a plan and that there is wealth as a byproduct of that. But don't you dare allow the marketplace and the voices and opinions of others matter to you so much that you miss God, and that you allow pressures to be there that He Himself has not established, because you're more worried about being perceived as a high brand, as a mighty influencer. You're more concerned with being perceived as successful than being divinely appointed to walk and maneuver and function in true, real, good success. That's my prayer. Sorry for the length of this video. I pray that it blesses you, that it uplifts you, and that it will stir you up to really get down to, God, what is your purpose? What steps and can you order them for my path? And what is my sweet spot that you have uniquely wired and designed me to thrive in? And how can I be a steward of excellence so that I manage every outcome and opportunity and every dime and dollar that comes as a result of that? That's my prayer for you. I hope you'll share this video. I hope you'll like it and at least comment or leave some feedback. Talk about the pressures you felt about having to thrive in the marketplace when you know that it's important, but it's more than that for you. And also what your insights or moments of aha moments have been for yourself. Please share that below. Thanks again. God bless. Bye.